Nottingham Forest reject a bid for Brennan Johnson. Let's get you the details. Welcome to your Forest transfer news. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Whatever time of day you're watching this, hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest transfer news. In today's video, we will give you the latest update on the boy wonder Brennan Johnson and bids that have been rejected. We'll talk to you about a link to a new keeper where Forest have placed yet another bid. We'll talk to you about a left back that Forest are highly interested in. And this one opens up some old wounds. And there's also talks about Hudson Adoi, and Forest can't quite get this one over the line. So plenty to discuss today. If you're enjoying the video, please take a quick second to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And if you would be kind enough to vote for us for the FCA Awards coming up very, very soon. The link for it is in the description below. If you'd give us a vote for Best New Content Creators, Best Premier League Content Creators, and Best Podcast with Beat the Drop, which will be coming back soon. We would really appreciate that. And then finally, go grab your Awoni tickets for this beautiful home kit signed by Awoni from Football Prices. The link is in the description below. All right, let's jump straight into this. There's a lot to talk about. So it feels like Brennan Johnson is edging ever closer to leaving Nottingham Forest. We told you yesterday about the new appeal from Spurs for it and how Spurs are heavily chasing him down, Levy being an idiot, and I'll talk to you about him in a second. But there has been a major bid rejected, and that's from the BTEC Stadium, that is Brentford. They came in with quite a healthy offer, I have to say. I don't know where they found the money. It wasn't from that stadium, but they bidded £43 million plus add-ons, plus a sell-on fee as well. And honestly, I was surprised to hear that Nottingham Forest rejected it. This is a confirmed bid. The sources are good for it. I believe Romano's even tweeted about it. But what do you guys feel about that? 43 mil plus add-ons, plus sell-on. That is a really good bid. And it makes you wonder, well, if Forest are being ballsy enough to reject that, then they are definitely expecting somewhere in and around the £50 million mark for him. And they won't reject that just, on a whim. There has to be clear evidence that someone's going to bid higher. And what's that evidence? Well, you guys may be thinking Spurs. Well, the rumors are that Spurs themselves have put a bid in. And this rumor is very weak, but let's just entertain it for now. Spurs have apparently put a £20 million bid plus Davison Sanchez. And that for me is just a typical Levy bid. I don't think it's true. I don't believe it. There's no way even Levy could value Davison Sanchez at 30 million. So I don't expect that to be true. But I do expect him to be part of the negotiation deals with Spurs, as I mentioned to you yesterday. We've seen Spence going on loan currently to Leeds for £1 million loan fee. So Spence won't be offered, as I said yesterday. This is going to be the one that is part of this deal. And honestly speaking, look, Sanchez has been okay preseason for Spurs. He looks like a new man, some Spurs fans would say. But I still don't rate him at all. He can't pass, he can't defend, he's atrocious. And I don't want him at Nottingham Forest. The only way I'd take him is if Spurs literally said 50 million plus him. That would probably devalue the deal down to 45, in my opinion. I think he is that poor. And I've not been that wrong about too many players over the last 12 months. I'm sure if you can think of an example, you'll put it down below. But Lingard flopped as expected. Bardet should have played. Dennis should have got more game time, and so on and so forth. And I just don't see him fitting in. I really don't. But anyway, you guys may think differently of him. The point here is, though, that Spurs will be coming back with another bid, if that bid happened at all. But this one's going to go down very close to the wire. There goes the voice. To be honest, we've only got, what, 3 or 4 days left until Friday when the window closes. And Forest are playing hardball, and I quite like this from Marinakis. I quite like the fact that he's saying, this is our valuation of the player. If you want him, meet our valuation. Otherwise, go do one. And if Levy did come to Marinakis with 20 million plus Sanchez, then I fully expect Marinakis not to return the call, but give him a goddamn horse's head with that insulting offer. But I still expect Jono to end up at Spurs. I can't see Brentford going any higher than the 43 million. I think that's them literally scraping every penny they could find from behind the sofa and everywhere else. And that's it for them. So I expect to see them drop out the race. So the avenues for Brennan Johnson's departure even is starting to narrow, with Spurs being the main front runner and probably the favourites with the bookies and everything else for this one to happen. I don't think Chelsea will come in. It would take another club maybe getting a late injury and looking for a panic buy for anyone else to come in. So as far as I read this right now, keep your eyes on Spurs. And I expect the bid to come within the next 24 to 48 hours and negotiations to be heated, to say the least. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Forest should have rejected that Brentford bid? 43 million. I would have been tempted. I would have been personally tempted to accept it. At the end of the day, yeah, I don't really care where Jono goes in terms of looking at it from the club perspective, because Brentford's money is just as green as Spurs's. And if that was close enough to the deal, then I probably would have been tempted. On top of that, I think a sell-on clause, is so important to get from this. The consensus generally seems to be that Jono will go from strength to strength. And then if he is going to become this 100 million valued player 2 or 3 years down the road or whatever it might be, then Forest do need to be able to cash in. And that, for me, would actually make sense for him to go to Brentford over Spurs as the next stepping stone, and then from Brentford to sell him on for the big bucks and Forest to take, 25-30% out of it. Whereas if he goes to Spurs, it would be quite unlikely that Spurs would sell him anytime soon. We saw how long Levy clutched onto Harry Kane for. But it's an interesting debate to have. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Okay, so something to get your teeth into, because this is a new link to Nottingham Forest, and that is Matt Targett. Targett is being targeted by Forest, no pun intended. And the fee for him is in and around £10 million. However, his wages are at 79 million. He's a decent player, 27 years old, 19 appearances last season, and Fulham are also interested in him. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am still scarred by Newcastle last year. Shelvey, Chris Wood, there was talks of Lascelles coming back, there was talks of Carl Darlow coming back, and it was just turning into a retirement home. And I'm trying not to let that cloud my judgment when it comes to Targett, because he is good and he would do a cracking job for Nottingham Forest. However, I don't know if he wants to come. I don't know if Forest want to pay those kind of wages for a left back. It's crazy amount of money for a left back. Seriously. I think Einar's been good enough, and I think he can continue to be good enough. And I do feel that this would be overkill in a way. I don't know. I don't know. I can't take my Newcastle annoyance goggles off for what happened last year with Wood and Shelvey. I can't. So I can't be that impartial on this one, even though I do rate this player. I just don't want to do business again with Newcastle. But maybe I should put that to one side and set my biases, on the table and look at it. Do we need a left back? Yeah, we probably do. Einar is good. I really do like him. Nico Williams can deputise at left back, and Omar Richards has been shipped off to the Greeks to say hello to Scarpa. Therefore, probably we do need a more renowned left back, a person who's not a utility player at left back, which is what Einar is and what Nico Williams is as well. And therefore, Targett could be the right target for Nottingham Forest. And at 10 million, it's not the worst deal in the world. Again, these are all indications that Jono's going, by the way. Forest would not be spending this money if it wasn't going to happen. And you'll see with the other couple of players we have to talk about in a minute. But let me ask you guys this. Can you take your biases off against Newcastle and accept Targett coming to Nottingham Forest? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to leave you guys to answer that. Let me know. We told you at the start of the summer window that Nottingham Forest were going to sign 2 goalkeepers. Obviously, we got Matt Turner in the door, and now with Dean Henderson going to Crystal Palace, Forest seem to have moved on for him. And it's Vlachodimos from Benfica that Forest are after. In fact, there's been talks that a €9 million bid has been put in for him from Benfica. And I really do like this goalkeeper. He is a cracking goalkeeper. It would surprise me, though, that he would want to come in as a number 2 and would definitely want to fight Matt Turner for that number 1 position. This was actually tweeted by Romano. Let me quote you the tweet, or X, or whatever it's called these days. Romano says, Nottingham Forest submitted a formal bid for a Vlachodimos package close to €9 million with the fee. It's the first official bid from Forest. Benfica wants more to make it happen, and talks will continue. So literally reading between the lines, what he's saying there is that Benfica are probably going to reject this and hold out for more money. Now, my €9 million is in and around £7 to £7.5 million. It's about the same as we paid for Turner. If I just remind you, Turner was 7 million with add-ons pushing it up to 10. And I don't know what Forest's plan here is. Are they still looking at Matt Turner as a number 2? Because the initial plans from Forest were to bring Dean Henderson back as the number 1 and have Matt Turner bumped into number 2. Now, a lot of people said, why would Matt Turner come to Nottingham Forest to be the number 2? The reason is he was bumped down to number 3 at Arsenal, with the Brentford keeper signing to give Ramsdale some competition. So technically speaking, he's moved up the pecking order. But honestly, I've been extremely impressed with him in the first few games this season. And I think he has a good shout to make himself number 1. But how do you guys feel about it? Would Vlachodimos be your number 1 choice if he were to come to Nottingham Forest? Or are you quite happy with Matt Turner between the sticks for the rest of the Premier League campaign? Now, what I will add to that is when Navas first came in last season, I thought he was one of the best performances I saw against Leeds from a keeper for us all year. And then he just seemed to decline more and more with those very liquid gloves, parrying the ball back into the danger area. And of course, letting that goal in against Brentford from that free kick. There was little signs of things going wrong there for Navas with me. But a lot of you were Navas fans. So my point here is Matt Turner will still need to be scrutinised over the next few games. Let's see how he copes in the Premier League in the weeks to come. But this would be a really, really good signing, in my opinion. But at €9 million or more, as they seem to be wanting, I have slight reservations. But get your thoughts in on it down below. So a lot of you are asking me for the latest on Callum Hudson Adoi from Chelsea, and Forest are the favourites to sign him. However, there has been nothing agreed between the two clubs. In fact, I'm not even sure personal terms have been set between the player and Nottingham Forest. The fee they are talking about is in and around £8 million. And Forest are definitely keen on getting him. And when you look at Brennan Johnson exiting, we are definitely going to need another winger, an attacking winger. Because currently, and I'm talking about who Cooper prefers, it would only be Alanga there available. Because Dennis may or may not be on his way out. But either way, Cooper does not tend to favour Dennis in the starting 11 now. So who else is there really? We've seen Wang used before on the wing in a pre-season. We've even seen Taiwo Awoniyi used against Chelsea last year on the wing, which I really detested. But overall, there's a very, very big gap in our player portfolio when it comes to wingers. So although I don't fully rate him, and I'll be honest with you guys, I think his career has been very stop-start. At the moment, we need numbers and we need wingers. For me, we should have got Dan Juma, man. I can't believe we let that one go to Everton. But will I take him right now? As the window is closing, beggars can't be choosers, and I would probably take him. And at 8 million, it's not a massive punt. But how do you guys feel about it? I know a lot of you are big fans of his. I think he will work. Let me put it that way. But he's just not anywhere near my number one choice when it would come to a winger. I honestly would still use Dennis. I think Dennis has got plenty to still show us and just hasn't been given the chance to perform. And he's still at Forest. So why waste the talent? Why waste it? But the latest on Hudson Adoi is nothing has been agreed between the two clubs. I still think this one will probably get over the line as we come into the dying embers of the transfer window. Like, it's going to be a fun final day, that's for sure, with Nottingham Forest. We will probably be doing a live end to the transfer window, probably kicking off at like 9 o'clock on Friday night and running you through to deadline and beyond it, as well as we do in every window so far. So it should be fun. But this deal, Jono, the other one that I'm expecting to see happen is a swap deal between Freuler and the Argentinian center midfielder from Bologna. That's probably going to require some cash as well. But that one's talking like it's progressing. But there's nothing really too substantial to bring you about that one. As soon as there is, we will, of course, as always, break it to you here on FFTV. So with that in mind, please make sure you are liking the videos and subscribe to Forest Fan TV. It is really important you have your notifications on over the next few days. As soon as the story breaks, we'll either give you a video like this or we'll just go live and talk you through all the details. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like it. And don't forget, tonight you got the Beavis and Butthead show with Ez and Ant over on FFTV Premier League. So make sure you check that out. I'll leave the link up there for you. And if a quick reminder, if you don't mind, if you would vote for us for the FCA Awards, you should have a link right here for you. If you wouldn't mind clicking that now and putting us down for those categories, it's much appreciated. We could not have got to where we are today without your love and support. So we thank each and every one of you. You're all legends. A little crazy at times, but we love you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you later if anything breaks. Otherwise, we'll see Bill and Ben at 8 p.m. tonight. And come on, you Reds.